Hello folks, Tim Tunnicliffe here from the Great Rugger Run, and I'm here at Bridgwater and Albion RFC just to give you a quick update on the look at that rain. It's coming down pretty damn hard now. I'm glad I finished my run for today so I don't have to be running in that. Just a quick update on the run itself. I had a couple of days off, in particular for Friday. An old teammate of mine, Mike Crisp, it was his funeral. Very tragically, sadly passed away after a 5-year battle, brave 5-year battle with MND. But it was a wonderful day of reminiscing and celebrating his life. So thank you to everybody at Cheltenham Rugby Club for... Oh, there we go, we're back. Let's get closer to the Wi-Fi signal, hopefully. We celebrated Crispy's life in some style. Plenty of beers, we're drunk and we're singing songs. So I'm just here we go, back again. So Saturday was a bit of a delicate day for me, but I enjoyed the hospitality of Taunton Titans. They invited me to their pre-match lunch, which was very much well received, and I got to witness them with a remarkable victory over the table-topping Rams to win with the last kick of the game. Quite a dramatic game. So fantastic stuff there. But that's meant 2 days off for me, which is unheard of. And I was so excited to get back running again this morning, which I did with 15 miles from a couple of clubs in Taunton up to North Petherton and now here at Bridgwater and Albion. So without further ado, let's go and have a little look around Bridgwater's and Albion's club and see if we can find some interesting folk to talk to. Here's somebody. Oh, very kind. I've just been given 20 quid. Yeah, there he is. Thank you very much on the behalf of all the charities. Really appreciated. And Mr. Geoff Sluman is here. Hello, Geoff.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome, Tim.
What's your role here at Bridgwater and Albion?
Bridgwater and Albion. Yeah, the Albion bit's important. Yeah. I'm the director of rugby or head of sport as well, because we've got a couple of football teams with us as well. So head of sport.
Really? Yeah. Head of sport.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to start by having a quick look around the clubhouse, and in particular, in the background right now is a lovely. Is it oil painting?
I think it is. Yeah,
probably is.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
Well, this is our old ground. We moved from this ground in 1994 to our present premises. We want to maintain a link to our history, so we commissioned this, and there's a few other things I'll point out for you about the old ground as we wander around, but that's our old ground. One pitch, that's all we had, a couple of stands, and we moved here and we've got a couple of pitches and bigger stands and better changing rooms.
Good stuff, nice little nod to the past there.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing to do. Okay, let's just go and have a quick look at this shirt over here. Now, I've seen some memorabilia on my travels so far, but this shirt is from 1906. It is remarkable that thing is still in one piece. That's the old club colours, is it? Any idea?
Has to be one on sport. No, I don't think it is. I think it's a commemorative shirt for this guy that used to play for us.
Yeah.
So, and his cap as well for 1906, 1907 season. So I think we've got old photographs kicking around on the walls, but this is the oldest playing shirt and everything we've got, which is now 118 years old or whatever it is. I can't do the maths in my head.
That's the oldest playing shirt I've ever seen. That's quite remarkable. Okay, let's go and take a look at some other bits and pieces. There's some really old photos here. Geoff's just pointing to this one here, which is the Somerset County 15 of 1896. Yeah. Quite remarkable. And then some real historic moments here for the club that have happened. Obviously, probably at the old ground, but this is a photo of the New Zealand team from 1905. Playing Somerset.
Yeah.
And then Springboks as well.
The first one. Yeah, we got the box visited 1906 for the first one, we couldn't have put on too bad a show for them because they came back again in 1912. So
good stuff. Good to see some touring rugby taking place here at Bridgwater. Was it just Bridgwater then, or was it Bridgwater and Albion?
And 1912 and Albion. I'll tell you about the history in just a moment.
Okay, good stuff.
1912.
But in terms of memorabilia in this clubhouse, there's probably more than I've seen in any club so far, and good touring as well from the club. They went to Zambia in 1971 and got this amazing shield and spears as a commemorative token. That's nice. And a very famous name in rugby circles, Mr. Prince Obolensky, who we've just discovered via the magic of Google was of Russian origin.
A Russian prince.
Yeah, Russian prince, and naturalised into playing for England. Yeah. Cool. Shall we go through?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go through and up the stairs, shall we?
Yeah. So we've got a couple of bars downstairs, players' bar and the function room bar, but we've got a big function room upstairs as well. Some of our memorabilia on the wall as we go past. These are the timber from the bar from the old ground. That we add to keep the memories. We've had a couple transformed into some presentation pieces.
Lovely things they are. It's good to keep a bit of your history, isn't it? A bit of fabric of the old club. Good to see.
So yeah, just talking about the old club, I guess. So we were founded in 1872 as the Bridgwater Rugby Football Club. And then a few years later, an alternative club was formed as well, called the Bridgwater Albion RFC Football Club. Both clubs existed side by side for a number of years, and then following the Great War, 1908, the First World War, the two teams came back and never had sufficient playing numbers to formulate a team. So that's when we merged in 1919 and became the Bridgwater and Albion Rugby Football Club.
Good stuff. And how's the club looking today? Like, how many teams have you got, and what level are you playing at, and these kind of things? Yeah,
sure. So we have we'll start with the juniors because a healthy junior section is usually 200 children plus running around on a Sunday morning. Age groups from under 6 up to under 16s. Some age groups very, very strong. Some we'd love to have more player members in. Then we move into the men's senior sides. We run 2 senior teams. The second team play in Somerset 1, which is level 9, I believe. And our first team are playing in Southwest 1 West, which is level 6. We've not had the best start to the season for the first team, but we've had just an injury list that you would not believe. But all that, and whether that's as a result of not playing for 18 months or not, I don't know. But happily, the lads are coming back. We had a better performance on Saturday, so we're looking bright for the future, really. We also have a women's section. That's probably the fastest growing section of the club. The women are doing really, really well. Entered the league this year again. They're not started their league campaign yet, but that's going from strength to strength as well. We've also diversified a little bit, and we actually host a couple of football teams as well. It just creates more members for us. And there's now 3 football teams associated with us. 2 play on a Saturday and 1 on a Sunday. So we're turning ourselves into a sports hub rather than just a rugby club.
Yeah, I've heard of like other sports sections, but never football involved with the rugby club. So that's a really interesting diversification. Now, a little bit about you, Geoff. You told me you played for Exeter.
Oh, many years ago, yeah.
Yeah, but then
long before they were in the Premiership.
You thought your player career was over when you came up here, but what happened?
Yeah, I moved up for work. Well, I was living in Exeter, working in Bristol. Pretty big commute, so I moved halfway up to reduce the commute. Thought at that time my playing career was over. Not interested in playing for anybody else. Exeter was my club, and that was that. But yeah, I came up, can't stay away from rugby. Got sucked into the local rugby club. Played for another 4 or 5 years after that. I did need a break after finished playing. Loved the sport, but in my head I was still a player and I couldn't play. So it took about 18 months out, and then came back through the youth section. Through my own children, my 2 boys going through the youth section, and followed them all the way up through the youth section, and then obviously got involved with the senior stuff, and do everything I need to do now. Yeah,
it's interesting what you said there about taking 18 months because you still felt of yourself as a player. I did exactly the same. Like, that was my identity, really, being a rugby player. So how did you get sort of through that, and how long did it take and those kind of things?
It didn't take that long. You think you're a player and you can't. Your body just nobody can play forever. Tried some other things, tried to get into golf and realised I can't not play golf. So, tried to do a bit of cycling and realised I'm not a cyclist. So I just gravitated back to rugby. It's it's the right thing to do.
Comfortable existence.
Yeah, definitely.
And now your DOR here, which I think from what you were saying earlier, the D stands for dog's body. Is that right?
It's basically a code for doing all the rubbish jobs nobody else wants to do. But no, I love it. It's a great club, and I do it for the players, really, all the players from the youth section to the women's section to the senior players. I just love to see people playing rugby.
Yeah, and as a coach or a director of rugby, what's your kind of ethos like? What are you trying to instill in the players, and what do you hope they get out of it?
Well, it might sound a little bit corny, really, but it is just the principles of the game, isn't it? It's the respect, it's the team, the camaraderie between the teams, respect for referees, and work hard, play hard, isn't it? Everybody responds. To be honest, it's not a difficult task because the players love to play and they want to do it.
Good stuff. Yeah. Okay, Jeff, we're going to leave you here, and I'm going to go and find
Carl,
so
our community leagues.
Oh, sorry, yes, go on.
So when we moved here, part of the reason we moved here is we're right next door to Bridgwater College, so we share facilities with them. They come and play their rugby on our pitch, and hopefully we pick up some players through that. We do try and identify ourselves as a community club, so as well as the youth section, we host things like blood donor sessions at the club. We've hosted a vaccination centre currently here now, actually today, doing vaccines and all those things. One of the other things that we're pretty keen on is the mental health thing. So we've got a couple of people that I know you're going to chat to next and tell you a bit more detail about that. But just before you do, I know you said you wanted to talk about the rugby club, but we've got to talk about you, Tim. So, congratulations on what you're doing. It's for an awesome cause. And, I'm just in all of what you're doing, really. So fair play to you. And I hope many people click on the donate button and create as much money as we can for charity.
Yeah, you're a gent, Geoff. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. And, show me around your lovely club here.
Pleasure.
Do a handshake, but it's a bit awkward when I'm carrying the camera as well. Okay, right, where am I going? Through here, isn't it? Let's go and find Carl. Where is he? Here he is, sitting patiently and waiting. Going to come and sit down next to you, mate.
Sure, of course.
Then I can rest my arm because it gets a little bit heavy carrying this camera around. And your name's Carl, right?
My name's Carl.
What's your full name and what do you normally do in this room?
All right, I'm Carl Stookes, and I will run the mental health club for men called the Men's Club through the Somerset partnership. So part of the virtual college called the Recovery College for Mental Health.
Good stuff. How long has that been happening here, and how many members have you got?
I've had 12 members at the moment. They don't all come every week, and I've been running it since the start of July. So we're hoping as the winter draws in to pick up numbers as well.
Right, so it's really brand new.
Yes.
Wow, awesome. Okay.
New initiative started, start July.
Good stuff. And what kind of people come here, and how does their participation help them?
Any range of people can come here, ranging from we have people who have been bereaved, we have people who have got paranoid schizophrenia, so we can cater for all, and they just come here just to chat and talk about any aspects of mental health they may have. It helps them to get out and meet other people that are in similar boats to them and make friendships. We have quite a few group members that now get together on a social basis and go out for a coffee in the week. So that is part of the success for me, seeing them grow as individuals and as a group together, and they're a lot happier in their mental health. I regularly ask them bits and pieces on like survey questions and speak to them about how it's improving week on week, and some of them have really, really turned the corner.
Right, awesome.
It's really pleasing to see the success is phenomenal of it.
Good stuff. So what are the kind of topics that you talk about?
Anything ranging from just making sure they take time for themselves, don't be kind to themselves. Mental health is a horrible condition for anyone who's experienced it. And just to be kind to themselves, give themselves time to recover and deal with the mental issues that they may or may not be having at that said time. Also, we've done a bit on sleep therapy for them, about how the brain works as well, how we can get stuck in the unconscious bias kind of bit of the brain. Just about bits on medication. Some of them have obviously, some take medication, some don't. So little bits and pieces on that, and trying to build friendships within the group as well, trying to build friendships for them so they've got someone else to talk to when they're not in group on a Monday evening.
Yeah, I'd imagine that just having somebody else who's going through the same thing or something similar must be really helpful for people.
I think it is. I think that's why they got me on board. I've had a few issues myself with anxiety, OCD in the past, since early teenage years. A lot of people might not know that about me, but yeah, it has happened to me. And having some of that learnt behaviour instead of just reading off a crib sheet to the chap seems to be really beneficial and the way forward.
Yeah, so what are some of the tactics or tools that you've learned to sort of help deal with those issues yourself?
I think taking time for yourself is very, very important, and trying to be kind to yourself when you get an anxiety attack. Instead of just sitting there and thinking, oh my God, this is it, stop, breathe for a minute and reflect. Just take your time, ground yourself, and just take the time. It will pass. There's no, you don't need to berate yourself. You don't need to be unkind to yourself. Just take your time, ground yourself and breathe. Then think logically once the initial panic is over and move forward.
Good stuff, wonderful advice. Now, why do you think a rugby club is a really good environment for this kind of group?
I think a rugby club is a really good environment for the group because it's a masculinity sport. It's men play rugby, so to speak, historically. And I think it shows that if you can have a mental health group running at a rugby club, you could have one running anywhere, because I've played rugby for many years as well. So I think it's just a really, really good place to have a men's group. And it shows you don't have to be the strongest man in the world, the weakest man in the world. Everyone is welcome at the club to talk about their mental health.
Yeah, because everybody has mental health, and it varies in whether it's good or bad or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. Mental health, I don't like to call it an illness. I like to call it a condition, because everyone has mental health, whether it be good, bad or indifferent. Some people just have it a bit worse than other people. Complete recovery is not, people that promise you that is lying if they tell you that. It is a gradual process, and it's about dealing with the mental health alongside your life.
Good stuff. Is there, before I finish off, is there any other sort of closing thoughts or anything you'd like to say?
I think if anyone is ever worried about their mental health, they should seek help. Ignorance to your mental health is really damaging. I ignored mine for a long, long time and didn't seek any help, and eventually it imploded around me and I got into quite a bad way before I got the help necessary. If you are feeling a bit down, a bit sad, a bit anxious, please talk to someone about it. Men tend to bottle stuff up a lot, and unfortunately male suicide rate is massively high. We'd rather you come to groups for mental health than have to read obituaries on you.
Absolutely. Well said. Carl, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for all the work you're doing here.
No problem.
On behalf of the local community.
Brilliant.
Good stuff.
Good luck with your run.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.
Okay, that is Bridgwater and Albion. Lovely people here, and just a load of history at this club. This is an Australian schools cap, actually. I've just spotted this one on the way out. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to be back on the road now. Where am I? Day 15 today. So day 16 tomorrow, start of week 3. Please help me spread the word of what I'm doing by sharing this content if you possibly can. As Geoff mentioned, there is a big donate button on the website which goes directly to the 4 charities that I'm supporting, which are Blokes, Give a Ruck, Loose Heads and Brave Mind. Thanks for watching. See you again on the next one.